Kia ora tātou. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to welcome you to the 2014 3-minute thesis competition. I'm Professor Kay Weaver. I'm the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Postgraduate Research at the University of Waikato. For those who have attended the 3-minute thesis before, welcome back. And for those of you who have not attended this event before, welcome to what is one of the highlights of the university's annual celebration of our PhD students. This event is one of the culminating events of Postgraduate Research Month, which we hold every year at the university. It's a time when we take the opportunity to promote and celebrate our graduate research students, their supervisors, our students' achievements, and their contribution to the development of knowledge across the many disciplines that feature in what we do at Waikato. I hope tonight that you'll be inspired, entertained, perhaps surprised and really encouraged by what we do here. The 3MT competition is part of an international competition that originated out of the University of Queensland in Australia. This is a competition which requires students to communicate to a lay audience in 3 minutes what they do in their PhD research. They're allowed to use one PowerPoint slide to support their oral presentation. This has to be a static slide with no changing animation. They'll be judged on 3 factors, which our wonderful MC will tell you about in a minute. The heats for tonight's were ran at over a week-long period at the end of September, with competitors from across the university. Tonight, you will see the heat finalists judged to be the best 10 of those. And on that note, I would just like to thank very much Jeremy Bell, Lorraine Friend, and Ross Hallett, and also Bevan Grant, who stepped in to cover one of our judges who was taken sick, for all the work that they put into the judging of the heat. So it was very kind of you and generous of your time. Thank you. I would also like to thank Angela Scarsbrook and all the very wonderful staff of the Postgraduate Research Office, and also Communication and External Relations, who have put this event together, and for the enormous work which it does involve, because it really does involve a lot of work, not only for this event, but for Postgraduate Month. So it's very kind of them to do this, because it really does take them beyond the bounds of what they expect to do sometimes. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for the prizes for the competition. The winners of tonight's final, the winner, will go on to compete in the Trans-Tasman final next year in Australia. We don't yet know where that final will be held, because they are holding a final at the moment from last year's finals, and the winner of that then decides where the final will be next year. Without further ado, it's my very great pleasure to wish the contestants a very good luck tonight, and to introduce our compere for the evening. Our MC tonight is the very wonderful Michelle A. Court. You might recognise her from TV3's 7 Days, or from Radio New Zealand National's 9 to Noon, or The Panel, if you're listening to that. Or you may be old enough to remember Michelle from the children's TV show What Now, back in the 1980s. Michelle also writes a weekly column for the Christchurch Press and freelances for a number of other magazines. In 2010, she won the Comedian of the Decade and has just returned from performing comedy clubs in Los Angeles and San Francisco, and she also tells me she comes to Hamilton quite a lot. I actually also owe Michelle great gratitude myself. Last year I had a ski accident, but I believed before that I could do the job which Michelle is going to do tonight, and I knew when I saw Michelle do the job she is going to do tonight last year exactly why I did have that ski accident. Because I was utterly deluded to believe that I could do what Michelle is going to do tonight. And I ended up sitting over there somewhere in great pain on a lot of drugs, and I was high as a kite. So I am hugely thank you to Michelle for saving me from myself and being our wonderful compere of Thesis and 3. So Michelle, I'd like to welcome you on tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's lovely. That's very nice. Kay is adorable. I'm the one on drugs tonight. Good. That'll work, won't it? This is fantastic. Thank you so much for having me back here. And as Kay said, I mentioned to her, I'm here all the time. I've been here every week for the last couple of months for some reason or another. Can I just suggest to you, now that I know that road really well, could you whack some more roundabouts in? Seems to me that's what it's really missing. Just a couple more roundabouts. I don't have to go anywhere, just so I go around in a circle. That would be fantastic. So I really enjoyed doing this event last year, and I'm excited about doing it again. All these young people, all sort of bright and full of hope and promise, which will fade. But I do have tremendous admiration for what smart young people do bring to the world. Though, can I just say, before we start celebrating them, I do want to say that it's not all about youth. This university is 50 years old. Give it a round of applause. God bless it. I'm slightly older than the university. I don't usually tell people how old I am. Generally, I just tell people I'm 46 plus GST. So those of you who are into maths will have worked out I'm really old. But it's good. Being old is good. Can I say that? This is to the young people in the room tonight. But look forward to it. Don't rush to it, but look forward to it. It's all right. Look, I'm your role model. Oh, God. I think it's wonderful. I love being middle-aged. It actually has made me happier. I think that women in particular, as we age, we get more comfortable with ourselves. I don't know what happens to me and I'm not paying attention, but women, we grow into ourselves, don't we? We start to feel good about our place in the world and the contribution that we've made to it. We even start, finally, feeling quite relaxed and good about how we look, which is ironic because around about the time we start feeling quite good about how we look, we actually start looking quite shit. We're too tired to care, so really, it doesn't matter. On the inside, I think I'm 18. I think I'm all stilettos and margaritas, I do. Obviously, now that I've told you that I'm 53, you're going, go home, lady, Metamucil and Cumps, go on, sit down. Go home and knit. Oh, look, there's people up there too. Hello. Oh, how delightful. Oh, this is great. Very nice. Now, what we're doing tonight, obviously, is that we are celebrating excellence, celebrating some really big new ideas, and celebrating people's ability, really importantly, to communicate those ideas. Now, Kay also mentioned that I travel regularly. I go each year and do gigs in LA and Las Vegas. And one of the interesting things I've learnt is that Kiwis aren't necessarily that good at celebrating ourselves. We're a bit laid back. It's part of our culture. So in America, they're very thrilled about who they are, and they're their own best cheerleaders. They think they're amazing. It's not based on a lot. But you know what I mean? They're thrilled with themselves, and we could probably take a little leaf out of that book in lots of ways. When I was doing the gigs in Las Vegas, I was working with another comic, and he said, so you're a Kiwi, right? I said, yeah, that's what we... And he said, what is a Kiwi? Is that like a fruit? And I said, no, it's not a fruit, it's a native bird. We've named ourselves after a native bird. And he said, well, so tell me about the kiwi bird. That must be amazing, spectacular that you've named yourselves after. What is amazing? What does it do? What's it like? I said, yeah, nah, it's... To be honest with you, it's quite shit. But we did that on purpose, because we could have named ourselves after one of our spectacular native birds, right? Because we do have them. I am obsessed with tuis. I've got a tui necklace on. I've got them in the garden. Not the necklaces, the birds. And I love the tuis. They're so beautiful, and they sing. So they've got 2 voice boxes. Did everybody know that? They've got one that clacks and one that is melodic. So they can have, with 2 voice boxes, they can have a whole conversation just with themselves. They're like a lady. It's quite incredible. Don't need anybody else. We've got the kortuku, the white heron, flies like an angel, looks so beautiful in the sky. We've got the kereru, the wood pigeon, just so tasty. But we didn't name ourselves after one of those spectacular native birds because that wouldn't have suited our culture really, because we're too laid back. So we decided to name ourselves after the kiwi, which is, of course, the one native bird that doesn't fly or sing. It's sort of dirt brown, really, if you wanted to describe its plumage. It only comes out at night, if it exists. I don't know. Most of us have never seen one. Am I right? And if you do see one, you're not allowed to touch it. So, we managed to name ourselves after the one native bird that doesn't actually meet the basic requirements of being a bird. It's genius. We've done that with a few other things. We had a Minister of Foreign Affairs for a little while, Winston Peters, a foreign minister who doesn't actually like foreigners. Good work, yes. I'm not going to talk about politicians tonight because they all annoy me. Or not all of them, lots of them. I'm quite pleased Kim.com didn't get elected. His party didn't. Can I just say, I don't believe he really cares about New Zealand, and I won't believe he really cares about New Zealand until he changes his name to kim.co.nz. So, it's really important tonight. What I'm saying is it's really important tonight that you don't behave like Kiwis. Don't be nocturnal and quiet and shy. I want you to be enthusiastic tuis or kiriru, whichever you would like to be, depending on how much you had for dinner. So I want you to be the most warm and exciting and excitable audience ever. Now, it is a competition, so let me introduce you to our fabulous judges. First of all, Professor Alistair Jones, who is Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Waikato. Alistair is on my right, probably your left, depending on if we're turning around or not. It is, as Deputy Vice-Chancellor, it's his job to promote leadership at university, and he's a director of a number of companies and also co-chairs an APEC working group on science and maths education. So he probably worked out how old I actually am when I said 46 was just. Down the other end is Paula Southgate, who is chair of Waikato Regional Council. She was a student here. She has a BA and also diplomas in teaching and guidance counselling. She was the youngest woman ever to be elected to a regional council, and that was in 1991. And I met her just before. I figured that she must have been at that point 12. She's gorgeous. And in between those two lovely people is Mervyn Dallas, who is a University of Waikato council member and also a member of the Finance Committee, and therefore possibly my favourite because I think he's the one who signs my cheque. And he's worked for Zespri, sorry about the crack about kiwi fruit, and also Sky City in the past, and he's currently a financial consultant. So they are our judges. The other really important person that I want to introduce you to is Arlene Baharano. Where's Arlene? Can I see? Oh, there you are, look. Okay, so she is very important. She has all the power in the room tonight. She's one of the Postgraduate Studies Office team members. This, as I said, is about brainy people talking fast. And Arlene is going to make sure that they don't talk any longer than they're allowed to. Here's how tonight works. I'm going to invite each finalist onto the stage. They'll come one at a time. And as they start speaking, the timer with Arlene starts counting down from 3 minutes, and a green light will appear on the table in front of Arlene, right beside Arlene. At 30 seconds to go, that light turns amber. And there it is, look, demonstrating. And it's just like it is if you were driving in a car. When it goes orange, go much faster. And don't look right or left, just go straight on. Just floor it. And then at 3 minutes, we get the red light, and the finalists must stop speaking immediately at that point, because if they keep talking, they will be disqualified. Wouldn't it be awesome to have those lights at home? Oh, I'd love it! I wouldn't let anybody use it on me. And then we will give the judges just a few minutes to make some notes about that presentation, and then we will begin the next one. And once they've all been completed, the finalists will be invited back on stage one more time before you are asked to cast your vote in the People's Choice, because you guys get the chance to vote tonight too. Inside your program, which you all have, there is a voting slip. Presenters are listed in that in the order that they will appear tonight. You get to choose who is your favourite, and then there will be staff walking around at the intermission with red boxes. You place your vote into that red box during the break. Staff will count the votes, and the People's Choice will be announced when we come back. Is that all perfectly clear and wonderful? Who's here to support someone? Yeah, all right. Well, if you saw people whose hands didn't go up, you can bribe them to vote for them for the People's Choice. During intermission, the bar will be open, which is awesome, and then we'll come back for some live music and to reveal the winners of the 3MT competition for 2014, and there'll be some refreshments to celebrate in the foyer afterwards, and you are all invited to attend. Housekeeping. Mobile phones all either off now or on silent. Don't even let them be on vibrate, because it'll be really quiet in here while the presentations are on. So put them onto airplane mode or do not disturb. During each presentation, please don't move. If you have a need to go to the bathroom or deal with anything, please wait until the end of the 3-minute presentation so that nobody gets put off by anything moving around in the room. The doors will be closed. So if there's an emergency, we might unlock them. I'm not sure. We'll make that call as we go, but no one will be allowed in or out during a presentation. So is that all clear? All good. Thank you very much, my litmus paper person in the front row. That's fantastic. So do remember, I want you to be tuis and kiruru and kotaku tonight. I want you to be as welcoming and enthusiastic for every speaker as you possibly can be.
The University of Waikato, where the world is going.